Hey y'all, so let's dig back into this grace. Um, what a freedom this woman finds when she finds Jesus, right? In that she doesn't have to go back to the way things were. She doesn't have to continue in what she was doing. Um, and she's not stuck in this cycle. What freedom Jesus offers when he says, now go on your way, and from now on, sin no more. And you know that sin is anything that separates us from God, and it's anything that comes between us. And when we look to things or other people as our source, when we um, put other things as our God, or when we feel like we just can't say no to things, and it's not just the big stuff like the woman caught in adultery, but when we don't trust Him, when we remain in fear, when we look at our natural circumstances and we just can't seem to get out of the rut, when we are in just a bad frame of mind all of the time, when it's negative Nancy all the time, it's always pessimistic, it's always half empty, it's never good enough, or we're never going to get there. All of those things are submitting to the flesh, feelings, what we can see with our natural eye, rather than what God sees. And I'm telling you, friends, if there has ever been a day and a time when we needed to see with the eyes of God, it is right now. There's no way on earth or in heaven that you or I are going to make it if we keep our eyes on what's going on. If we continue to see and to gather information only with our natural eyes and with what we can see, we're not going to make it. We're going to lose heart. The scripture says men's hearts failed them. And I can see, looking in the world, why men's hearts would fail them. Not just men as in gender men, but men as in mankind. How we could be disheartened. But Jesus has freed us from all of that. All of those things that would keep us in bondage and in slavery. And the cycle of we'll never make it, we'll never make it, we'll never make it, we'll never make it. And that's probably, well, not probably, that is why we act out in the big sin ways, right? Is that we're continuously looking for things to fill the void that only Jesus can fill. And so we do things to mask and to band-aid that shame, that guilt, that condemnation, that not accepted. But when we begin to realize the love of Jesus, oh man, or the love of the Father through Jesus, that there is no condemnation. I don't condemn you. Now go on your way and be free. Break that cycle. And so in Romans, Paul, who was, again, the chief Jew, right? He was the most learned, wrote Romans comparing and contrasting the law with grace and Jesus and how the two differ. And he talks. I just encourage you, if you read Romans sometime, take it slow and steady. But Paul breaks apart the law and grace. And the church has so often argued about grace, and we've had such a simple mindset of grace, in that if we extend grace and we talk about grace and grace, then people are going to continue sinning. Well, grace is not a free pass. In church, we've done a terrible job at defining grace. Grace is not a free pass. Grace is, I don't condemn you, now go on and sin no more. Grace is, I love you, Now let's do this. Let's kick this in the butt. Let's do better. Let's get you out of that rut. The cycle of brokenness. Grace pulls us out. That's what grace does. And so we're going to pick up here tomorrow, and we're going to read some scripture in Romans, and I will see you then. Bye, y'all.